Remember before I asked you to stage a play, a very short play, married couple at night in their kitchen. Uh, the husband says, "I love you," and the wife says, "I know." And that's it. Curtain. That's the play. And I asked you, how would you know how to work with the actors about how to say those lines? How would you know how to work with the designers about what the kitchen looked like, what the actors wore, what the light was like, what sounds there were? How would you know? Well, the truth is, now we're going to deal with these given circumstances or dramatic circumstances because they're the key to the choices we make to figure out how to create out of a text a performance. I think the truth is that the playwright, remember W-R-I-G-H-T, a maker of play, goes through the very same process. Or we could say they ask the same questions. And the result of them dealing with those questions, like, what is this relationship? What has happened before? Where are they? And what do they want? The answers to those questions for the playwright results in a text. Now, we take that text as director and actor and designer, and we move it from text to performance. The trick is, I think we do the same thing. I think we ask the same questions, even though we have the text. We're asking, the text says married couple, we're asking what kind of married couple? What actually is this relationship? I understand it's married couple, but what kind? It says kitchen. I understand kitchen. What kind of kitchen? How should it feel? I understand what they say, but a playwright never provides what the character wants. And if they put it actually in the text, if characters were always saying, I want this or I want that, we probably wouldn't believe them. So there's some stuff they can give in the text, some things they can't even provide at all. So I think the choices that the director, the actors, and the designers make together, facilitated by the director, create the performance. It's almost like we need the playwright's choices, of course, which results in the text, plus our choices. And it's the two together, the text plus these other kinds of choices, that result in a performance. So let's take them one at a time. The first couple we'll talk about, I think, are primarily focused on the actor, though designers certainly will want to talk about these too. But let's talk about just first relationship. So in our little play, we have a married couple. But as I said before, the actors will want to know, well, look, if I'm going to pretend this, if I'm going to embody this character and perform it, I need to know about the relationship. It's not, the relationship is in a way more dramatic an idea for the actor than the idea of character. Character is revealed moment to moment. We don't really know who Hamlet is almost until he's gone, until he dies at the very end of the play. Character is revealed beat by beat. But relationship, we have to make a choice about that in the moment to know how to play it. So we have married couple, but we want to know what kind. Well, I think there's a time-honored tool that we use in the theater. I call it the as-if tool. We know it's married couple. We're not going to change the text. We never change the text. That's key. But we need to know how to perform it. So, as if. Can you imagine, for example, a married couple, the way they behave, the way they interact with each other, that if you watched it, you would say, wow, I could almost believe that they're siblings, brother and sister. Now, of course, they're not. They're a married couple. But they could behave as if. They could be a married couple as if brother-sister. So what does that mean? Well, it's a great choice because it gives the actor room to use their own experience and imagination to flesh it out, to give it shape, gesture, tone of voice, etc. But it might be something like, you know, siblings. Maybe they're comfortable with each other physically in a rougher kind of way. They certainly love each other. But maybe they're a little more competitive, right? Can you imagine a married couple like that? I bet you could. We can make another choice. Let's say married couple as if mother-son. Sadly, sometimes these couples don't work out so well, but in a certain moment, we could see a relationship like that playing out. Again, the text is the text. We're not changing it. We're looking for a choice to help us figure out how to play it. Now, just a couple of guidelines with this choice of relationship. The text has a choice. We have to make a choice as well. And the two together, as I say, create the performance. One thing, when you're making a choice, raise the stakes, don't lower them. Stakes, in this case, I think, equate to emotion, specifically love. The more love there is in the relationship, the higher the stakes. So husband-wife is already a pretty high-stakes relationship. If we said husband-wife as if strangers or as if neighbors, you can see how that's kind of lowering the stakes. And it doesn't do the actor any good. They'll look at you with a puzzled look on their face like, well, look, I was trying to figure out this high-stakes marriage. You're telling me they're just friends? Yeah, not good directing. Secondly, conflict comes from love. It doesn't come, so I know it doesn't come from a lack of love. It doesn't come from hate. So I know exes, like husband, wife, as if they were already divorced, sounds like it would generate some conflict. Trust me, there's not a lot of conflict there. Conflict comes from love. High stakes relationships is what we want. And the playwright, that's what they're trying to do. Good. Be simple. That's the number 3 guideline. Remember that there are only 12 notes and it creates a lot of music. So keep it simple. Don't try to be clever with the choice. Don't try to be abstract or theatrical like husband, wife, as if something absurd like cowboy and astronaut, because you think that'll be fanciful and fun. Whereas actors are trying to be human, no matter what style, whether it's Shakespeare or Samuel Beckett or our little husband and wife play in the kitchen. The actors are trying to get their feet on the ground, so don't give them something more abstract than the text. Finally, we want a relationship that we can play. We're looking for something that, as I said, raises the stakes, is simple, and will help us, when combined with the text, create that performance.